Hello everyone. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. I am AK Monjurul Islam, live and exclusive from my page Monjur's English Solutions. So it's been a long time since I conducted my last live session, and as I'm a very busy man nowadays, I remain very busy with my job, with my family, and some other issues, and that's why actually I couldn't manage enough time to conduct this live session. And as mentioned before, from now on I will conduct my live sessions once or twice in a month, probably once in a month, and I will definitely inform you about that. And this live session has been postponed quite a few times because of some issues. Actually I was busy, and that's why I couldn't manage time. So at last I have been able to manage time for this live session, and I welcome you all to join my live session as early as possible. Today I'm going to conduct this live session on a particular topic of linguistics and ELT, that is a very popular topic, that is grammar translation method or GT method. So this is actually a very popular method of language teaching right from the very beginning, but this method has become quite backdated nowadays because of the immense use of CLT. CLT has replaced grammar translation method, but it was an ancient classical method for language teaching for many years. And this method was actually started during the 15th century to teach classical language, Greek and Roman language, and it has since then it has been used for a long period of time, and it was very effective language teaching method. And our forefathers, our seniors, they actually used this method for language teaching for many years. And nowadays we are talking about CLT, but we have not been able to implement CLT in our country properly. Still we are using some kind of a blended approach, and GT method, some elements of GT method is definitely there. So now let us talk about the principles and techniques of GT method or grammar translation method. Grammar translation method is known as GT method in short. So this method, this grammar translation method, actually deals with linguistic competence. I repeat, grammar translation method or GT method of language teaching deals with linguistic competence. A language has got two kinds of competence. One is the linguistic competence, and the other one is communicative competence. I talked about linguistic and communicative competence in my previous live sessions. I'm going to repeat that because of clear understanding. Actually, linguistic competence means learning a language, and communicative competence means using a language. So if you actually read about bicycle, if you read about the rules and regulations of how to ride a bicycle, you will be able to learn how to ride a bicycle, but you will not be able to ride a bicycle unless you ride a bicycle yourself. So learning about riding a bicycle, studying about bicycle is like linguistic competence. I mean, linguistic competence means learning the rules and regulations of a language, its syntactic structure, the morphology, syntax, syntactic order, grammatical rules and regulations. All these things actually are concerned with linguistic competence. So linguistic competence means learning the rules of a language, and communicative competence means riding a bicycle, that I have already mentioned. That means using the language. No matter how you read upon a bicycle, you need to ride the bicycle, you need to drive the bicycle to learn how to ride it. So similarly, linguistic competence is very important, but unless you use the language, you will not be able to become a good user of language. You might be a good learner of language, but you will not be able to get the communicative competence. So linguistic competence is very important for learning a language, and this method, GT method, grammar translation method, is concerned with linguistic competence. So now let us move on with some other principles and techniques of this method. And before that, I would like to talk about the objective. As I have already mentioned, the objective of grammar translation method or GT method is linguistic competence. Now let us talk about some of the principles of this method, of this GT method. This grammar translation method actually deals with two basic skills of language. And those are reading and writing. I repeat, grammar translation method deals with two major skills of language, and those are reading and writing. And this method doesn't deal with listening and speaking skill at all. So listening and speaking skill are totally ignored in this method of language teaching. So GT method only deals with reading and writing skill. Now let us talk about the role of the teacher of this method. How the teacher implements this method. The teacher is the authority. In this method, GT method, teacher is the authority in the classroom, and he uses native language, not the target language. The teacher and his medium of instruction is always the native language, not the target language. So in native language, he actually provides the rules and regulations of grammar and make the students practice grammar rules and regulations. That is the main task of the teacher in this method. And the teacher is the authority. Teacher doesn't deal with the psychology of students, the learning style and preference of the students. The students are actually mere followers of the teacher's instructions, and students are bound to follow what the teachers teach them. And this method doesn't deal with the psychology or learning style and preferences of the students at all. So now let us talk about the interaction. And most of the interaction in this GT method goes from teachers to the students. Teacher gives instruction and students follow them. Student-teacher interaction is not there in this method. Most of the interaction is from teacher to students. Of course, a few student-teacher interaction can be there, but most of the interaction in this method is from teacher to the learner. That means from teacher to the students. It's a one-way interaction from teacher to the students. So now let us talk about the feedback of this method. Well, the teachers, as I have already mentioned, in this method, the teacher makes the students practice grammar rules and regulations and translation, especially grammar rules and translation, both. And translation can be both ways. From native to target language, from target to native language, passage translation that we have seen, and we have also practiced translation during our old days, school days. And this is a very effective method. This was a very effective method, although this method is not widely used nowadays in our country and even in the world, because as I have already mentioned, communicative language teaching, or CLT, has replaced grammar translation method. But in our country, we are not properly using CLT. We are using the weak version of CLT. Grammar translation method is still somehow being applied, and we are using a blended method. Some elements of grammar translation method is still there. So as I have said, teachers make the students practice grammar rules and regulations. They make them practice translation from native to target language and vice versa. That means from target to native language as well. And even they also make the students practice writing paragraph, essays, letters, all these things. So this is how grammar translation method is implemented inside the classroom or applied to the classroom, to ELT classroom. And students, when the students make mistakes, teachers directly provide them with feedbacks, with correction. When students make grammatical mistakes or any kind of mistakes, spelling, grammatical or translation mistakes, the teacher immediately corrects those mistakes. I repeat, teacher immediately provide the students with correction. That means teachers correct the students' errors. And now let us talk about the limitations of this method, of this language teaching method. Actually, this method does not deal with listening and speaking skill. As I have already mentioned, this method deals with only reading and writing skill. As a result, communicative competence is not dealt with at all, and students are actually not improving their speaking and communicative abilities. And this method is definitely the strong part, or the strength of this method is definitely the linguistic competence. This method is very good for linguistic competence but not good for communicative competence at all. So in that case, speaking and listening skill are totally ignored in this method. So students cannot develop their communicative competence, but they strongly develop their reading and writing skills and linguistic competence. So I hope now you understand about the strength and weakness of this method. This method is very good for linguistic competence but not good at all for communicative competence. As I have already told you, that learning a bicycle, I mean, if you can read about a bicycle, you can read about how to ride a bicycle, but unless you ride a bicycle, you will not be able to drive a bicycle at all. So in the same way, no matter how you read upon a language, no matter how you learn the rules and regulations, how much you learn the rules and regulations, you will not be a good speaker or a good communicator unless you use the language. So in our country, what is happening right from the very beginning, still, as I have already told you, that CLT is not properly dealt with in our country. CLT deals with all the 4 basic skills of language: listening, speaking, reading and writing. But in our country, from the very beginning, right from the very beginning till the end, from the primary level to the tertiary level, we are dealing with only 2 skills, that means reading and writing. So grammar translation method, we have not been able to get out of grammar translation method that has been being used for a long period of time. So we are saying that we are using CLT, but still to some extents, to many extents, we are still holding the ancient method. We are still using or applying GT method in many extents, because we are dealing with only 2 skills, reading and writing, in our educational institutions. As a result, the communicative competence of our students are not developing as much as it should. So I hope now you understand what GT method actually is all about. And the techniques of GT method is, as I have already told you, teachers make the students practice grammar rules and regulations, like grammar exercises on different grammar items, and even giving them translation tasks from native to target language, from target to native language. This kind of translation practice is there. Passage translation, they also make the students practice passage translation. Even reading comprehension and answering questions, this is another technique of GT method. And writing a paragraph, writing an essay, writing formal and informal letters. So all these things, these are the techniques of GT method or grammar translation method. So this method, as I have already told you, it is very good for learning a language but not good for using language. And currently this method is not being used worldwide, as the recent method CLT is being used all around the world. It has replaced GT method or grammar translation method, but still this method has got its own value, because without GT method language is not properly learned. Because if you want to speak correctly, accurately, or write accurately, correctly, if you want to write accurately and correctly, then definitely you need to learn the rules and regulations of a language. And this method, GT method, is very good for learning the rules and regulations or syntax of a language. And this method is also good for learning vocabulary, because as I have told you that translation practice is there. So if you practice translation, translating passages, translating sentences, then definitely you will be able to enrich your vocabulary. So anyway, so that's all about GT method or grammar translation method. I hope now you have some ideas about grammar translation method. Our forefathers used to teach and learn applying this GT method in their language classrooms. So I hope you understand what GT method is all about, grammar translation method. And before I finish, I'd like to tell you that for my busy schedule, I cannot regularly conduct live sessions from my page Monjur's English Solutions. I have a YouTube channel with the same title, Monjur's English Solutions. So after this live session, the recording of my live session will be available on my YouTube channel as well. You can visit my channel, like, comment, share, and I think if you have any question or queries, if you really want me to discuss on some other issues or topics of linguistics and ELT, then do not hesitate to contact me. You can communicate with me by messaging through the inbox of this page, or even you can call me directly. My mobile number is already given on my page. So that's all. The recording of this live session will be uploaded soon on my YouTube channel as well. Thank you very much for joining this live session tonight. I will come back to you once again, and as I have told you that I will conduct live sessions once in a month, once or twice in a month, and I will inform you previously before conducting the live session. So if you have any suggestion on which topic I should conduct the live sessions, you can give me your suggestions. You can share your opinion with me through the inbox of the page, by messaging me, or even by calling me. So thank you very much. I'll come back to you with another topic in my next live session. Till then, it's goodbye from here. Good night. Take care.